That's 50% off grilling favorites like tender steaks, beefy burgers, and much more. Plus, use promo code QUALITY at checkout to save an extra $30. Their unconditional money-back guarantee backs every purchase. At omahasteaks.com, use code QUALITY at checkout for an extra $30 off. Minimum order may be required.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WNSR. Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up, and if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
Listen, you can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And good Thursday afternoon to you, and yes, it is time for the McFarland Show. Darren and Justin here with you for the next 2 hours, and we are live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio, where they just keep expanding. They're probably going to be worldwide before you know it. Maybe our studio will be worldwide.
Maybe they already are, and we just don't know.
I'm just telling you, Strike and Spare.
We thought they were expanding into Louisville. It turns out they've been there for years.
Well, they just keep, and I just saw another one.
Yeah.
In Kentucky. I think it was Elizabethtown, I believe.
E-Town. Right up on 65 there.
I believe so. Yeah, it's just, they just keep getting bigger and bigger. It's awesome. DJ Damon is alongside for the ride. We got a lot of things to get into, and we're excited about today's show. In about 15 minutes, we'll talk to long time, and I mean long time, 41 years covering Kentucky basketball, Jerry Tipton. Got a book out that's called Deja Blue. A sports writer reflects on 41 seasons of Kentucky basketball. We'll get his take on, it just came out. We'll get his take on what just took place after the NCAA tournament. Well, not really after the NCAA tournament, after their early exit yet again. And John Calipari off to Fayetteville, Arkansas. We'll get into all things that with Jerry Tipton coming up here shortly. Nashville SC. I told you yesterday on the show that they were hosting Toronto at Geodis Park, and Toronto was missing some key players, including their head coach.
Yeah.
From, I guess, the game prior where it got messy. And so a bunch of players were suspended for the game, and they got the victory last night. 2-0 shutout at Geodis. But that really wasn't the news after the game.
No.
Justin?
Not at all. The news after the game is the decision that officially came down this morning, technically, but I'm sure was made last night.
Yeah.
and that is the only coach this franchise has ever had.
That's right.
Gary Smith was either removed or stepped down, or what's the official language, Darren?
Nashville SC announces the departure of head coach Gary Smith.
Okay.
The departure.
Okay, sure. And Jeff Fisher departed from the Titans as well.
Well, there's been a lot of departures.
There has.
In this town.
And,
that's what happens whenever you change coaches.
Listen.
There's a departure.
There's a departure. And so Gary Smith has had a departure from Nashville SC last night after 6 years, or this is his 6th season.
No, this is his 7th.
This is 7?
This is 7.
Okay. 7th season here with the club. I'm sorry, when I'm looking at the numbers here, apparently I've mixed up a couple things here. So, overall, this year they were not doing well. They were 3-4-5, 3 wins, 4 losses, 5 draws. That puts them tied for 10th in the Eastern Conference, according to the standings here that I've just looked up. They are 10 out of 15. I guess technically they're tied for 9th. It depends on how you look at it, or how they calculate it. But either way it goes, they're in the bottom half of their particular conference there in the MLS Eastern Conference. And the season was not going the way they wanted. Overall, for Nashville SC, Gary Smith finishes with a record of 49 wins, 36 losses, and 52 draws. Now, he's got a much higher record overall than that when it comes to overall coaching. I'm just talking about with Nashville SC, with them in the MLS, 49 wins, 36 losses, and 52 draws with Nashville SC. He moved them from, if you think about it, the ride that he's been on with this franchise from First Horizon Park to Nissan Stadium.
As a USL team.
As a USL team, from First Horizon Park to Nissan Stadium to their brand new facility over there, not far from us here at WNSR. We could probably see it if you look hard enough in the distance there. Yeah, it's right there at the fairgrounds. And they've decided to turn over the job to someone else there while they look for a brand new head coach.
This is shocking to me, Justin, because Gary Smith is the most successful professional soccer coach we've had in this market.
Well, he's the only one.
Yeah. Therefore, he is the most successful professional soccer coach this market has ever seen.
Yes, I guess that's accurate.
He has got more wins at the USL level in this market than any other coach.
Yes.
He's got more MLS wins.
And will always have more wins than anyone else at the USL level.
Well, we hope so. We hope they never
think.
Drop down to USL again.
We would think.
Yeah. He's got more MLS wins than any other soccer coach in this town.
Yes,
so
that is correct.
It is surprising. He is the most successful coach this market has had when it comes to professional soccer. So a little bit surprised in all seriousness. Gary Smith has taken the playoffs every year. I mean, I think they've been highly successful on his watch. Look, I don't know how all this works. We don't pretend on the McFarland show to be, soccer experts.
We are not.
We're willing to talk about it. We're willing to touch on it. We're willing to bring somebody on.
We wish them all the success in the world.
Yeah.
We want them to succeed.
But we don't pretend to be soccer experts. Gary Smith has done a fantastic job and he was the right guy to bring soccer into this market. I don't know how this works. I'm sure it's like every other sport. Maybe they just felt like it was time for a new voice. I mean, have things gone well this year? No. They haven't. Are they have they always been the most exciting brand of soccer? No, they're not. They get, they've been more defensive minded than offensive minded.
They've produced some nice moments though, and they've produced an MVP of the league, which is not something that every franchise can hang their hat on. Honey Mukhtar has been the literal MVP of the entire MLS, which is nothing to sneeze at, and that happened under Gary Smith and his ability to put that team together. Now, did they win the MLS Cup? No, they haven't done that. Have they been very competitive? Yes, they've been very competitive. They've not been a laughingstock by any stretch of the MLS. Very, very competitive each and every year that his team has taken the pitch out there. But where do we go from here? I don't know. I know one thing, and we're going to listen to the sound from Gary Smith. You want to do that now, Darren?
Yeah,
want to
let's
wait?
do it.
All
let's
right.
do it.
Let's hear from Gary Smith. This is last night after the game. Gary Smith talking to a reporter about the fans, about expectations. Apparently, some fans were not happy after a 3-win, 4-loss, 5-draw start.
I think they've been booing him.
And there's been some expression apparently going on. And this is Gary Smith reacting to that.
I've always said that, it's a reciprocal relationship. The fans want to see us put on a show. It raises their spirits. But there are going to be times, and I think now is one of those times, where they're seeing a group in a position, in a situation that they've not seen before. This is all part of our fan base's history, understanding and appreciation of what MLS is all about. There are going to be times where it's not straightforward. There are going to be times where players are out of the team and the guys are struggling to find their way. I completely understand what felt like a very flat atmosphere midweek against a team that were difficult to break down. I get it, I do. But you couldn't be more true with what you're saying about the fan base. Whatever they think of me or the future of the club is irrelevant to what they do to support the group. It is irrelevant. In most cases, people want to show their feelings. That's what fans want. Listen, they can be fantastic and they've been brilliant for me for a long, long time. And at some point, guess what? I won't be here. And some will be happy and some won't. But while we're in this position, the only thing I could urge them to do is get behind the group and to be positive around the group. The weekend couldn't be a better opportunity to do that. The guys need that energy. We've always been at our best when there's been a good atmosphere, when the fans turn up in big numbers and they give us a real lift. There's no two ways about it.
It's Gary Smith speaking there. He has always been very, very complimentary of the fans. And I will say this, and I will give him this, and this is my opinion, Darren. Gary Smith has done more to acknowledge the fans than any other coach I've ever heard in this market. Every time I hear him in front of a microphone, he is either talking directly to or talking about the fans or supporters, much more so than anybody I've ever heard from any of the other head coaches in this market. Not to say they were mean to the fans or dismissive of the fans, but he has always, either he really does feel that way about the fans, like, they are a big part of the game, or he certainly goes out of his way to market to them, to talk to them, to connect with them, to bring them in whenever he is in front of a microphone.
I think Barry Trotz did that. He referenced the fans, and he did a really good job of that. Look, I got to know Gary Smith a little bit early on. I haven't dealt with him for years, but early on, when
they were first launching,
the early
same thing.
The early days,
by a lot.
I dealt with him a lot. I sat in a suite with him at Nissan Stadium during one of the matches. What was it? One of the CONCACAF, one of the world matches. Yes.
Okay.
When they played, Mexico or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was in there, and I talked to him for a good while. And I've dealt with him, like I said, more in the early days. I haven't really dealt with him in years. He's a really good guy. He really is.
Yeah.
He's a really good soccer coach.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know how this works in the
He's
soccer
the same
world.
guy off mic that he is on.
Yeah, he is.
That I find.
He
anyway.
is. I agree. Look, it's just, to me, it's just easy to assume this is professional sports, and I guess Nashville SC, the higher ups, felt like it was just time for a new voice. I would assume. I don't know why else you make this move, because they've been highly successful under Gary Smith. I think he has been a great first coach to bring professional soccer into this market at the USL level and then the MLS level. So, again, it's not like the drop-off. It's not like the first 4 years were abysmal and you're like, hey, just give it time, and then they finally broke through, and then it's back to being crap again. No, he's actually kept it at a pretty high level this whole time.
Yeah.
And so, it's not gone their way this year. It's clearly been off. I don't think there's any way around it. It's been off. But it is a long season, as we know. It's long.
You play
it's
6
drawn
months?
out. It's way too long, in my opinion. Like, The MLS schedule, in my opinion, should be way more compact. They just draw it out forever because they play these other tournaments. They take a break, and it just goes on forever. They start in February, and they go to November.
That's always confusing to me, too, is when they stop and play the other tournaments, then go back to MLS play. I don't understand that at all.
But
and people have tried, the soccer folks have tried to explain it to me a little bit, but I guess I have no reference for it.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to understand, so what are we doing? And why are we doing that? I mean, I guess it's more of a European type of model.
They have also departed from their assistant coach, Steve Guppy. And I guess Rumba Munthali will be the interim head coach for Nashville SC. So, look, I guess they're just ready for a change.
Maybe they wanted more, Darren. Maybe they felt like Gary Smith had gotten them as far as they could go.
And that's fine. And Gary Smith is a good coach, and he'll probably land another job. I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure if he wants one.
Somebody else is going to hire him. He will. So we'll see how this all plays out. We'll see if they can turn things around. It's just May. And as I just stated, it's a very long, drawn-out season. It's too long and too drawn out, but that's just my personal opinion. And we'll see, where this goes. I suspect this interim will have every opportunity to keep his job. And we'll see if things get turned around, or if they don't, I'm sure they'll be this whole time they'll be shopping for the next head coach, right? Who they think can take them, as you said, to the next level.
Level.
Wherever they feel like this is, or maybe they just felt like it was going the wrong way, right? And they need to get it back on track. So Gary Smith out as Nashville SC's coach. So the first coach fired on the soccer front in this market. So well done by Gary Smith. He's a good guy. I'm sure he will land on his feet again here very, very soon in the MLS. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Jerry Tipton has covered basketball for over 4 decades. He's written a book called Deja Blue. We'll tell you about it, and we'll talk with him next as you listen to the McFarland Show right here on WNSR.
You enjoy the thrill of gambling, but what happens when it becomes a problem? Whether you want to cut back or quit gambling altogether, the Gambling Clinic has been helping people change their gambling for over 2 decades. We're here to help, not to judge. The Gambling Clinic is a Tennessee-based clinic offering in-person and telehealth support to help people win back their life. Visit us at thegamblingclinic.com. This project is funded by the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIFT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code LIFT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIFT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIFT.
Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is at the heart of Music City. Located within walking distance of the Country Music Hall of Fame, Bar Lines at the Omni is your downtown honky-tonk destination. Watch your team from any seat on their plentiful HD TVs and catch a live show on the Bar Lines stage featuring live music 7 days a week. Bar Lines has the ultimate Southern comfort food. Get started with classic fried green tomatoes or bourbon barbecue wings. Then it's on to the massive Smashville double stack or the world famous Bar Lines grinder. Oh, you've never heard of the Bar Lines grinder? 2 kinds of cheese, lettuce, Dijon, smoked turkey, smoked bacon, smoked ham. Now that's some smoke you want. Local brews and local spirits are on tap at Bar Lines. Take a seat on the patio outside and soak up the rhythm of Music City. Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail and the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by 2 words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
It's a Bill King Show.
We created a rule decades ago on the show. Weddings, things of that nature, during the playing portion, do not get consideration. No. Don't do that. Weddings are meant for the spring. They do not get consideration during the playing portion of the season. That's just the way we work it around here. That's the way we play it around here.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
Welcome back to the Strike and Spare Studios. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Rolling along on this Thursday afternoon. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. 615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. Don't forget, every day you can watch the show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can interact with us on our YouTube page. WNSR Live, one word in the search tab, and we'll see your comments, and we can talk to you. Let's head to Lexington. Guy who's been covering Kentucky basketball, did it for over 4 decades. Jerry Tipton is on the line with us. The book is called Deja Blue. A sports writer reflects on 41 seasons of Kentucky basketball. That is out, and good read. Jerry, how you doing?
Hi, Darren. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, pleasure. Pleasure is all ours, and really appreciate this. I guess to start, when you've got over 4 decades of memories and storytelling and things, the interactions, I got to believe that it's a good problem to have, right? When you're coming out with a book, but to narrow everything down and try to put all this into one book must have been a little bit of a challenge, I would think.
Well, there was a lot of anxiety, but the anxiety was the reverse of that. I'd never done a book before, and even and obviously a book is much, much longer than a newspaper story, and I just was anxious about, can I fill up? They wanted more, like 220 pages, and can I do that was an anxiety. And then once I thought, okay, 41 years, a lot of memories, then the anxiety was, well, how do I do it? How do I organize this? And eventually I, felt satisfied that I, did that. And I wanted to make it more than just my memories. I'm kind of I've never liked to be out there. I like to blend in. So I talked to more than 40 people and got their memories, former players, coaches, and others, and included that in there. And it came out. We had our launch Tuesday, and it's available online at Amazon and Acclaim Press and other places.
I grew up in Rupp Arena. Obviously, that was Joby Hall and Eddie Sutton, and then when I was in school as college age, Rick Pitino was there, and we know the circumstances that were involved there. And I've always told the story, Jerry, that probably the craziest atmosphere I've ever been in, college basketball-wise, was watching, basically no-name players running around for Kentucky playing LSU with Shaquille O'Neal and Chris Jackson and Stanley Roberts, that team that was, top 5 team in the country. And Kentucky beat them, I don't remember, this has been a long time ago, 190 or something, whatever it was. It was a crazy, crazy game. And it's just one I'll never forget because Kentucky wasn't supposed to beat that LSU team. They were, crazy good, but they did. What were your impressions of the early days of Rick Pitino?
Well, I was hoping you wouldn't ask me to explain how Kentucky won that game because I can't.
Yeah.
And it just boggles the mind. And I watched it, and it still boggles the mind. people have asked me, well, 41 seasons, which season stands out? And I tell them that 89-90 season. Rick Pitino's first season as coach, they were on probation, and from the Eddie Sutton days, and several of their best players left, transferred. So the expectations were next to nothing. There were no expectations. Kaywood Ledford, who was a legendary radio play-by-play announcer for Kentucky, he said before the season he thought they'd win, I think he said 8 games, 6 or 8 games, which of course for Kentucky is horrible. And that season was unlike any of the others I covered. I like to tell people Kentucky basketball, the games are not supposed to be competitions. They're supposed to be demonstrations of Kentucky's superiority. And that season was not that. It was just fun for the fans. And they had local players, Kentucky-born players, so that helped. And it was just fun, and they didn't like Eddie Sutton's playing style. It was slower than they wanted. And he had what they called a 7-pass rule, and the fans didn't like that. And with Rick Pitino, it was up and down and constant action, shooting threes, pressing, trapping, and the fans loved it. And they finished 14-14, and I think the fans had more fun in that season than any other in my time.
Did Rick Pitino, has he ever said on the record, and if he has, I apologize, but has he ever said he regrets leaving Kentucky for the pros?
I've never heard that.
Okay.
I'm not aware of it.
Me either.
He may have. You know, he left for a very good job. He was going to be coach and basically general manager of the Boston Celtics. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, it wasn't like he, some people not in Kentucky would see that as an advancement of sorts. And but no, I've never heard that. I've never heard him explain. And the general thought up here, as you know, is that if, 10 years is about a limit on being Kentucky coach, that, that it's a constant thing, never-ending interest. And I did a Sunday notebook notes column, and at the beginning it was 65 inches. And I wondered, boy, it'll be June or July. How am I going to fill that? And I found out that the interest is nonstop, and I stopped worrying about that fairly soon. And I knew I would have material to fill it.
No doubt. Well, you're right about the timeline. Jerry Tipton on the line with us, although sometimes it can be shorter. And I think about a coach that was there. Did he make it even 2 years? I think it may have been less than 2 years. I know doing Sports Talk Radio here, we certainly talked about it a lot. And I can only imagine what it was like for you being around it. But I got to hear at least a Billy Gillespie story like that. The train wreck that was Billy G.
Well, it was an interesting thing. As you say, he was only here 2 years. And he had a pretty good resume coming to Kentucky. I think he'd been Coach of the Year in his league, and had beaten Louisville here in the NCAA tournament as like Texas A&M or something like that. And so, that always goes a long way. But he didn't know what he was getting into. And several people had left, people who had been longtime members of the staff, in the department. So, like the first year, he didn't go speak at the Lexington Rotary Club, a few weeks before the season started. That was a tradition where the Kentucky coach would give the Rotarians, a preview of what to expect that dated back to Adolph Rupp. And I did, maybe this is a good story for you. I called the woman who was in charge of getting speakers for the Rotary Club, because I thought this is a story. A tradition going back to Adolph Rupp is interrupted. And I could hear the real concern in her voice about what am I going to do? And this was like a week or 10 days before the meeting where the coach was supposed to be there. So I heard myself tell her, well, I could come and speak. And I to be honest, I was just trying to be nice. And she immediately seized on that and said, okay, it's October 15th, 11:30. And I'm thinking, oh, man, what did I just do? So anyway, I go and I speak, and of course I can't be authoritative about the team the way a coach could be. But they were so thankful that someone came, that it was a very nice reception and everything went really well. But that was an early sign that Billy Gillespie didn't appreciate the public role that's involved with being the Kentucky coach. I think he saw it, and he said this late in his 2-year tenure, that, you know, he was a coach. That was what he was, and he had a hard time accepting that public role that's part of it.
Did you say that started in the morning? That may have been too early also for him, maybe that event. Who knows?
Well, I don't know about that.
Jerry, Justin knows. Just talking about it this season, when this whole thing went down in the NCAA tournament, I just got on here the next day and I just said, look, I haven't been to Lexington. I don't go to Lexington much these days. I've been here now for 25 years, but I grew up there. Like, no, I understand. Like, no, coaches change, that people, but the pressure cooker and, you know, the expectations, it hasn't changed. Decades and decades. Like, I know what it is there. It hasn't changed. This just isn't going to work. Like, I don't know how this is going to play out. This just isn't going to work with Cal. What were your impressions whenever, you know, and then they came, you know, of course they came here, another early exit in the SEC tournament in Nashville, and then the early exit in the NCAA tournament. I was like, I just sat on here for days going, this is just not going to work. What were your thoughts? What were you thinking at the time for a guy who's covered it forever?
Well, I've long believed that, especially for Kentucky and the Kentucky coach, that the coach can only last about 10 years or so, and that the fans want a new toy to play with. They've played with the coach, and hopefully, you know, they hope successful, having a lot of success. And they had been through the John Calipari time, and they didn't like the one and done because they wanted, you know, they identify with the players, and they wanted to be, you know, get to know them over a period, you know, 4 years, hopefully. But that wasn't, you know, that wasn't the way it was, and they were having success. So, you know, the people didn't like it, and there was some grumbling, but success, you know, trumps that. But then down the stretch, as you say, you know, my last game was the first round loss to St. Peter's. And I knew that, you know, that wasn't going to go over well. And I thought after I was done working and I went back to the hotel, which was across the street from the arena, that I bet I'd get some angry emails. And I did, directed at me. I mean, they have to take out the frustration on somebody. And so it just became time. I think he accepted that, you know, there was a lot of grumbling, and social media gives people a chance to air those grievances. I tell people, and I don't know how much it's accepted, but I've heard coaches say, and I've come to believe it, there's a lot more parity now than there used to be. Mm-hmm. That with youth sports is such a bigger thing than it used to be. And there's just more good players out there. So it's harder for Kentucky to be Kentucky, the Kentucky that the fans expect. And that doesn't mean that can't happen, but it's just harder. And that's why right after they lost to St. Peter's, I was riding on the elevator from the court up to the media workroom with two people that cover Kentucky also. And they were, you know, had these stunned looks on their face, like, how in the world this can't happen? And I made the point about parity, that, you know, Virginia had lost as a 1 seed to a 16 seed, and these things can happen, even to Kentucky.
I've got questions for you that I want to draw back to someplace I've been here in just a second. But let me start with the current and now. Mark Pope, who's now the new head coach there at Kentucky, of course, a former player, understands the culture as much as anyone possibly could, just not in this role. What's your assessment as far as him taking on this job, and what has been the history, if there is any, of former players coming back to try and do this?
No one comes immediately to mind. Well, Joe B. Hall was a former player for Kentucky. and then, won a championship in 78 and Final Four in 84. And, they were a very good team, different era, of course.
Yes, sir.
But, he had success, and I think he was a Kentuckian. So he was kind of welcome. It was a charming thing that he was a fan growing up and becomes the coach. And that was interesting. I think Pope has two pluses. One, as you say, is knowing the program. He knows about, unlike Billy Gillespie, he knows that he has a public role. And he, I don't know if you watched that introductory press conference pep rally.
But you mean the pep rally? Yes, sir.
Yeah. And he, big crowd, I guess it was full at Rupp Arena. And, he hit on notes that told you he knows how to appeal to Kentucky fans. He talked about winning banners as preeminent. And the unspoken message was not going to the NBA, which bothers some Kentucky fans, a lot of them probably. And he talked about going to Maui and playing in Maui. John Calipari didn't like to do that. It's too long of a trip, he said. And so, he can identify and knows Kentucky fans, and I think that's going to help tremendously. And he's also been a head coach. He's been in, he's navigated NIL, I guess, and the portal, and he's filled up their roster. It seems like everything gets hyped, of course, but it seems like, they've got players that can play. So, of course, everything could change if they lose games.
Well,
that makes all the difference. But I think I think he's gonna be appealing to fans, and I think they're gonna be rooting for him, certainly.
I've got two more that are burning for me. Louisville, of course, is a huge rival of Kentucky, and they have not been themselves like they have played historically. And I'm curious, from the Kentucky Wildcat perspective, do they relish the fact that Louisville is down as much as they are, or do they want Louisville to be good so that they are a worthy opponent for them?
Well, no, I wouldn't go that far, certainly. I think of Kentucky fans, they look at Kentucky as the Harlem Globetrotters, and everybody else is the Washington Generals. That, you have to have another team on the court to have a game, but the other team's job is to lose. And Louisville, of course, didn't accept that and, saw themselves as a peer of Kentucky, which is, I think, some fans would see as an insult. And so I don't think it bothers them that that Louisville has fallen off. And, if they rebuild and become Louisville again, then that'll bring more dynamite, shall we say, to the rivalry.
All right. I would confess to you, sir, I am not the biggest person when it comes to Kentucky college basketball. However, I did spend quite a bit of time down in Alabama and covering the University of Alabama's football team. I was at Nick Saban's opening press conference, and I understand that culture pretty well. And the similarities between the two, between you talking about Kentucky basketball and what I know of Alabama football, are striking as far as the importance of the coach is not just as a coach, but almost as a statesman there within the community, and how much the program actually means to the state as a whole, not just to the particular city. I mean, it's almost identical the way you talk about it. And I've always kind of wondered about whether or not there were some people who felt like, we lean too much into. I know in Alabama there were some people who felt like Alabama football may mean a little bit too much to us because, there's some things we can't do or don't do. We can't even think about pro sports in this state because of Alabama. We can't even think about, doing other certain things in this because of Alabama and what that would mean. I'm curious if people have ever even broached the subject that, we care about this a lot, but to what extent?
Well, I've never heard that expressed. It may be out there. It's not like I've canvassed a great number of people, but I like to have stories that dealt with fans, and I did a chapter in the memoir on fans and Kentucky fans, and really enjoyed it. I chuckled several times while doing it. And there was there is a psychology professor at Murray State that specializes in fan psychology. So whenever the story dealt with fans, I would call him and talk to him, and he would put it in perspective for me. But this is just my speculation. But I think sometimes Kentuckians feel like they don't get enough credit from people like the elites on the East Coast and the West Coast and elsewhere. And Kentucky basketball was a way to identify as the equal, at least, but maybe superior to these elites. And so it was very important from a self-esteem standpoint.
Yeah. Alabama football's the same way. I'm sorry. Yeah. You're speaking it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just beyond the mere fact of winning games.
It's fascinating.
It is.
For sure.
It is.
Jerry, we really appreciate the visit. Thanks so much for doing this. Best of luck with this book, and I know it's going to do great. And thanks for doing this, as always. Good to talk to you.
Yes. Thanks for having me and helping me spread the word on the memoir.
We will do that. That is Jerry Tipton. Deja Blue is the memoir. A sports writer reflects on 41 seasons of Kentucky basketball. So that is out for you to purchase. And there's a lot of Kentucky fans in our listening area, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We're wide open the rest of the hour if you want to get involved in the show. 615-844-5600. The schedule is out for the Titans officially. We can reflect on that.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about Gary Smith being out at Nashville SC or whatever you want to get into. You can do that with us as you listen to The McFarland Show here on WNSR.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
There aren't any cops around.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
Hey, I can hold my liquor.
I drink and drive all the time.
If you put away some drinks, put away your keys. Fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Attention business owners. WNSR has some exciting opportunities for your business to thrive in the dynamic world of sports radio advertising. As the proud home of some of your favorite sports teams like the Atlanta Braves, Memphis Grizzlies, and more, we understand the power of sports in bringing people together and creating a passionate community. We believe that your business can become an integral part of this experience, reaching a diverse and engaged audience. Contact the WNSR sales team for an opportunity to discuss how Nashville's sports radio can elevate your brand to new heights. Whether you're interested in a specific sponsorship package or would like a customized solution, we are here to meet your advertising needs. Call 615-844-1039. 615-844-1039 or email saleswnsr@gmail.com. That's saleswnsr@gmail.com.
Stirring fiber, exercising, frequent trips to the store for more laxatives and fiber. Sounds like your constipation with belly pain is a lot to manage, but if your symptoms that keep coming back are signs of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
The 2024 Atlanta Braves are on a mission to bring home a 7th straight NL East title and head back to the Fall Classic.
Harris will leap, and he got it! He caught the ball!
Tomorrow night, Brian Snitker leads the Braves into action against the San Diego Padres at Truist Park.
Pre-game coverage begins at 6:05 p.m. live on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Five-state forecast.
your exclusive National Sports Radio WNSR Sky Scan forecast. For today, we'll have mostly sunny skies, high 86. Partly cloudy tonight, could be a shower late, low 64. Friday, variably cloudy, showers likely, maybe a thunderstorm, high 78. Utilizing the resources of the WeatherBug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio WNSR.
You're listening to The McFarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
It's true. 615-844-5600. Again, thanks to Jerry Tipton. Class act. Been doing it did it for a long, long time. Sharing his memories of covering Kentucky basketball for 41 years. Let's go to Tony in Nolensville. Tony, what's up?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I've got a couple of baseball things I want to talk about, and then I want to touch on the Titans, what I think their record will be. So,
okay.
Number one on baseball thing I meant to share with y'all the other day with Austin P. Darren, they've got a guy named John, I believe it's Gazdar, I think is what you say his last name. He had a 40-game on-base streak snap Sunday. That's that's somebody that can get on base. You know, you can really rely on. And that you don't hear of someone getting on base 40 consecutive games like that. That's a long time.
Pretty impressive.
Pretty long.
Yeah.
And, of course, if they're one game up in their conference, they need to take at least 2 or 3 from North Alabama. And here in the SEC, I've got a dilemma, Darren and Justin. That other guy sitting over there named Damon.
Yeah, what about him?
Man, he goes up there and knocks off Kentucky 2 of 3 and wins the series.
Yeah.
Or even sweeps them. If Tennessee's over there beating South Carolina, Vanderbilt has enabled UT to win the SEC regular season. That's a bitter pill to swallow right there.
So are you rooting for Kentucky then? Is that what you're telling us?
No, it's hard to root against Vanderbilt winning because I know we got to take care of our business, but let's just hope South Carolina can take care of their business.
You're so sad. It sounds so sad.
I knew he'd have a take on that, but it's going to be interesting to see, and it's going to be tough, guys, for a lot of in the southeast this weekend to get these games in. A lot of rain going to be happening tomorrow and Saturday.
Unfortunately, yeah. We're in a tournament this weekend, and it's like I don't know.
It's not looking good.
I don't know, especially Saturday, right?
Yeah, Saturday is the rougher day. Yeah,
everything ends
Sunday
on Saturday.
may be a little drier.
I don't know if they're allowed to play into Sunday or not, but just about everybody goes Thursday to Saturday this week.
Right, because they want to wrap up right for Hoover. Yeah.
Right, and I think all colleges, all conferences got to wrap up by Saturday.
Well, honestly, today is a good day. Friday and Saturday are going to be bad. I mean, I'm surprised, and maybe that's happened. I haven't seen them, but I'm surprised they're not doing double headers today.
Darren, I thought the same thing. Why not do a split doubleheader today or something?
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that I hadn't heard of anybody yet doing it in the SEC schedule. So, but that is surprising. Now on to the Titans. Guys, looking at the schedule, I see an 8-10 to a 10-8 season. If they're
they're only playing 17 games.
I think it'd be a good season. What are y'all there in that window?
Well, they're playing.
Well, they're playing 17. You've scheduled them an extra
10 and 8.
game.
I'm sorry, 10 and 7, or right, or but 8-10 to 10 and 7, 8 and 9.
I think if you feel that strongly, you should go bet their over under because I think it's like 6 or 6.5.
I saw it 5.5.
5.5, even more. You should go bet it, Tony.
Check it. I just think I know what the back half, it looks bleak. But in the front, I think the first 8 games, I think they could easily be 5-3.
Easily?
Hell, nothing comes easily.
I mean, the
But
Lions,
5-3.
the Bills, the Colts, the Dolphins, the Packers, and the Jets are some of the most of the games. Really?
The Packers didn't impress me nothing last year. They don't seem to be,
Really? The Packers.
I personally think they could easily be 3-0, and I mean easily on that. You've got the Bears. You go on the road to a rookie quarterback, and that team hadn't done nothing lately. And then you come home, get 2 home games. I could see 2-1, 3-0 right there, right off the get-go.
I think you need to download one of those apps and go bet it, because if you feel that strongly, then this is easy money. I mean, if it's 5.5, 6, you should bet the Titans over under win total. Seriously,
I might do that.
You should.
I really do.
Because so you're saying, Justin,
really
you can find it 5.5. If you can find it 5.5, you should pound the Titans.
I might just do that because I really looked at the schedule last night. I said, damn, I see 7 or 8 games here.
Well,
and that's what jumped out to me. And I'm like I say, I might be overly optimistic, but that's just what I saw. So I think if that did happen, I think all Titan fans would be happy then. What you're saying?
Yeah. If your scenario is in play, I think they'd be very happy. I mean, I think if you're asking me, I think realistically, they're like a 7-10 team is what it feels like.
DraftKings has got them at 6.5.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So I've not seen them at 5.5.
I thought I saw 6 and 6.5 places.
So you need them to get to 7.
Yeah. Still, according to his.
It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking with the all of our additions.
You may be right.
The new coaching staff.
You may be right though.
No, you're
that's
not
the thing.
Wishful thinking. No, it's.
You may be dead on.
Hold this tape and mark it.
Okay.
And we'll come back and visit it one day.
It's not that far.
I don't think we need to mark it. If it happens, you're going to let us know.
Thanks, Tony. We got to go,
I
man.
hope y'all don't forget it.
We won't.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Tony.
Good talking to you. Thank you.
And if we do, he'll remind
us. I told you.
All right, we'll take our final break for the first hour and come back and wrap up that first hour next. Buyandtow.com. Get cash for junk cars. Do you have a vehicle that's become a problem? You can get cash in your hand today and your vehicle hauled away. They'll buy your vehicle no matter the condition, in your driveway, at your mechanic shop, or even on the side of the road. You can call them at 615-480-6473 or visit buyandtow.com. Get cash in your hand today and your vehicle hauled away. 615-480-6473, buyandtow.com. That's buyandtow.com.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently, and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? We can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents or having to waste time showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your house to foreclosure. If you have equity in your home, we'll buy your home and give you cash within days, all in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call now before your situation gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just need anymore and get the cash you need today. Call this number now.
Call 800-527-4903. That's 800-527-4903. 800-527-4903. Again, 800-527-4903.
Paid for by Airtime Media.
They say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by its doctors, Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good, whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain. If you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. I was sent Relief Factor for me to try. I've been taking it every single day, and I do feel the difference. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
And now, Sunspace Sunrooms RVM Development are proudly saluting our troops and veterans. Their tireless efforts should never go unnoticed. This message is brought to you by Sunspace Sunrooms RVM Development. For maintenance-free enclosures, sunrooms, screen rooms, patios, and more, give Russ a call today and ask about their senior, military, and first responder discounts. 423-225-2414. 423-225-2414. Or visit sunspacesunrooms.com. That's Sunspace Sunrooms RVM Development. They're professionals who care.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Titans trade for L'Jarius Sneed. I'm going to give you who he went up against in the 2023 season. Justin Jefferson, arguably the best receiver in the NFL. 2 catches, 14 yards. A.J. Brown in Philadelphia. 1 catch, 4 yards. Stephon Diggs, 1 catch, 3 yards.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
You're listening live from the Strike and Spare Studios, downtown Music City. It's the McFarland Show.
Something that we didn't bring up yesterday.
Yeah.
In the Arena Football League world, one Jeff Fisher is taken over as the interim commissioner.
Yeah, in charge now.
He is in charge.
So hopefully he can stop some of the shenanigans. It's not been going well for the rebirth of the Arena Football League. I'm not going to speak about our local team, the Cats. They say they are a healthy franchise. But for other franchises around the league, it has not been good. They've had 4 franchises go under since the start of the season.
It's at least 4.
They started with 14. We're down to 10.
Okay.
So
I know the Voodoo in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Soul.
Yeah. The Minnesota Myth.
Who they beat here.
That was their opener. They're not around anymore. And I'm not sure there was one more.
Which Iowa? Wichita?
It's
one of those.
Hey. I'm not sure, but it's I don't know why Arena Football, because they keep trying and it just can't work or doesn't work or is having a hard time working, and I don't know enough about the financials of it to understand why it won't work.
Well, from some of the stuff, because I've been doing some digging and reading stuff that's being put out there, and apparently the old commissioner made a lot of promises. This is what I was reading. That apparently that is most all of them have fallen through or haven't been delivered. In other words, like cheap flights. I saw a thing where each team would get like 700 footballs at for $10,000 instead. Every team got like 100 footballs.
Oh well, that's not good.
Or cheaper hotel. Just a lot of stuff like that.
A lot of things that were supposed to happen
but
didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Yeah. And so the teams
bite
got
into your bottom line.
Right, that the teams got saddled with.
So they got to pay for it now. Because, we got to go play this game, so we got to get on this flight.
Or they don't pay for it.
Yeah.
Because there's also one of the teams hadn't met payroll once.
Yeah.
So just stuff like that. We'll come back and begin the second hour talking about the Titans' schedule. We'll tell you how they're going to go 17-0. We'll do that next.
That's what they're doing in Chicago.
As you listen to the McFarland Show, WNSR.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In the coming days, the first aid ship set to arrive at the new floating pier off the coast of Gaza. The maritime pier, built by the U.S. military, will bolster critical aid into the war-torn enclave. The Pentagon's Sabrina Singh says distribution will be an international effort.
Aid will be offloaded from the ships at a floating roll-on, roll-off distribution facility, ferried to this Trident pier, and then driven to the shore in Gaza, where USAID and the UN will manage the distribution.
The Department of Internal Affairs confirming that Army Staff Sergeant Gordon Black, who was detained in Russia, has pleaded guilty to charges of theft. Gordon's family says he met a Russian woman while stationed in South Korea and traveled to Russia on personal leave. The hush money trial continues with cross-examination of Donald Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen. His attorneys are working to poke holes in Cohen's testimony. And the Dow trading above 40,000 points for the first time ever today. This is ABC News.
Memorial Day is nearly here. Time to fire up for grilling season. Head to omahasteaks.com for the Memorial Day sale with 50% off site-wide. That's 50% off grilling favorites like tender steaks, beefy burgers, and much more. Plus, use promo code QUALITY at checkout to save an extra $30. Their unconditional money-back guarantee backs every purchase. At omahasteaks.com, use code QUALITY at checkout for an extra $30 off. Minimum order may be required. Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right?
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water, pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Listen, you can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour here on this Thursday afternoon. They are playing the PGA Championship in Valhalla up in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh,
How
wow.
about that? So another major golf championship, or PGA Championship, another golf major. Last year it was Brooks Koepka who won.
All right.
Xander Schauffele's 62, shot a 62 today, and is 9 under. Some other notables that are done today: Roy McIlroy shot a 5 under, par is 71. So Roy McIlroy is in the 5 under group. Brooks Koepka is 4 under. These are all these golfers are done today. So Brooks Koepka shoots a 67, 4 under. Victor Hovland, 3 under. Bryson DeChambeau, 3 under. Justin Thomas, 2 under. Jordan Spieth, 2 under. Again, all these golfers are done for the day. So there you go. A little early leaderboard here in day 1 of the PGA Championship.
Very nice.
All right. The schedule came out. We knew yesterday that the hot and heavy rumor, and once Kevin Byard put out the eyes emoji on X, we kind of knew that they were going to start off their season at Chicago
It's
against
official.
the Bears.
The Bears.
And that's exactly how it's going to play out. Caleb Williams will make his NFL debut against the Tennessee Titans. Brian Callahan will make his head coaching debut against the Chicago Bears.
By the way, you can watch the game on Fox. That would be WZTV Nashville.
There you go.
All right. Continue on.
So at Chicago to begin the season on September 8th.
Yeah.
First home game is the following week. Home against, if Aaron Rodgers is still upright and healthy.
Yes.
Has blown his Achilles.
Or something else.
Out there, 40 years old. It'll be the Jets.
Yes.
Jets, Jets, here on September 15th. So that'll be the first home game, followed by the Green Bay Packers here at Nissan Stadium. So back-to-back home games, Jets, Packers, Chicago to start off. How do you feel about that 3-game stretch?
3-game stretch, I've got them at it's somewhere between 1-2 and 2-1. I'm tied up on the Green Bay game. I think they're going to beat Chicago. I don't think they're going to beat the Jets, and I'm not sure about Green Bay. And that's where I'm kind of hanging with them. So that's where I'm at to get started. And then there's other notes here. What about you with that 3-game stretch?
There's so much unknown.
I was going to say, first of all, I'm sorry. I asked you, but let me interrupt. First of all, I hate this because we don't know anything. We don't know anything. We don't know who's going to be healthy. We don't know who's going to be hurt. We don't know who's gotten old this offseason, and we don't know who is now stepped into their prime and is ready to be big-time players. It happens every single year. There is a player out there right now who was lights out last year, and they're old. It happens to everybody. They woke up, and they're the same person, but they can't do the same things they did last season. They just can't. Father Time is caught up. They don't even know it yet, but they're old. There's somebody else who woke up, and they were just okay last year.
Well, the Packers will not fit into that category.
No,
we can rule them out.
They're not, because they're mostly young.
They're one of the youngest teams, if not the youngest team in the league.
Yeah, they're all 18. And so there are other people out there who are stepping into their own. And they were just okay last year, and this upcoming year, they're going to be lights out, bonkers type of numbers. And we don't know it. They don't know it. But it's just going to manifest itself all over the field. And we don't know who those players are. We don't. And that's what makes this so difficult to try and predict as people are trying to project what they think a team is going to do. But really what they're thinking about is what this team was last year. And the team last year is gone. Completely gone, and across all levels in most of these sports. The team has changed so much that it's hard to predict who's what. So, but, we're here, and it's fun, and we'll do it anyway.
The thing I don't know is what is the record of rookie quarterbacks making their first ever NFL start?
I tried to look that up.
I'd love to know the answer to that. I know.
For some reason,
but I feel like that should be out there.
You would think,
right?
But I've tried to find it a little bit. Now,
we keep tabs on everything. I'm surprised that is not one out there that we're all regurgitating. But I don't see it anywhere.
No.
I know it's probably out there somewhere.
You look too? I've done a preliminary look, and I just...
Like, are they 500? Are they over 500? Are they under 500? I don't know. I don't have a good feel. I want to... Actually, I take that back. My feel is they're under 500. My feel is it's a record that's below 500.
That's...
Their first ever NFL start? First game?
Well, considering most of them fail, I think that's a pretty good pretty good guess.
Yes.
Considering most of them don't make it to a second contract. True. Not everybody's going to be Trevor Lawrence. Most people are going to be Sam Darnold. That's just what the numbers say. The numbers say that out of the how many quarterbacks did they select in the top 10 this year? Was it 6? 5 or 6? Out of the 5 or 6, maybe 2 will make it to a second contract with their current team. Most of the guys will not. It's just fact.
Was Will Levis's first start the Falcons game last year? So he was a
winner. Yeah,
he was a win. What was C.J. Stroud? I don't remember their first game last year. I know how it all played out.
First game wasn't Carolina. I don't think.
I thought it was Jacksonville.
I'm not sure. I think you may be right. I think it may have been.
I thought it was Jacksonville, and it was a loss. Let's look that up.
I'm working on it now. I think you may be right about that though. Last year, Texans, beginning of the season. Come on, load up. Last year, September the 8th, it was. Of course, they've already given me the 2024 schedule. Sorry, 2023. Here we are, September the 10th. It was a loss to the Ravens last year.
To the Ravens, okay.
Yeah, a pretty bad one. Now, 25-9 loss to the Ravens. And yes, that was C.J. Stroud. He threw for 242 yards, but caught the L at Baltimore.
So again, and that's a tough spot
opener.
for a rookie quarterback in his first ever NFL start. But I just would be curious. Caleb Williams will get the kiss of being at home. That always helps for the rookie quarterback, even though Will Levis went on the road and did it against the Falcons. But he'll get they'll be geeked in Chicago. Look,
they're geeked now.
They are geeked now. And so it's going to be a crazy atmosphere. There is hope. There is belief. It's the first game of the season. Bears fans have been beat down over the years, but there's going to be hope and belief. And I think there's going to be a lot of energy in the building for their game against the Titans. So that is going to help Caleb Williams big time. I think it's a difficult spot, believe it or not, for the Titans. But I also like the fact that they are going against a rookie quarterback in his first ever NFL game.
But here's the thing about their energy there in Chicago, and I know this as I'm close to the fan base there, in that it doesn't take much to take that hope and belief away because they have been...
doubt will creep quick.
Very fast.
Quick.
Very fast.
A turnover, a pick six.
I
mean, it'll be,
take all
here
the
we go
air
again. Here
out
we
of the
go
building.
Again. Yeah, here we go again.
It'll be so quiet you can hear the waves on Lake Michigan. It'll be very quiet if that's the case. So, it doesn't take much to get them out of the game. This is what I saw with the Titans' schedule here. There's a couple of things that stick out to me. Number one, there's no long road stand or home stand. And when I say that, what I mean is
like 2 is like the most.
It's 2, yeah. Some years, and they're random years, it's not every year, but some years they end up with 3 in a row, either 3 road games or 3 home games. This year, they don't have any of that. That's I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's interesting. The bye week, of course, is the first week in October, which
isn't great.
But, Darren, I see another bye week on the schedule here. There's another bye week, December the 1st in Washington. And this is why I'm saying that. I'm not saying that because I think the Commanders are pushovers. I'm saying that because it's late in the season. It's a non-conference game. In the past, and I know we're not in the past anymore, but sometimes the Titans have used, like I think there was a game against New Orleans a couple of years ago where they rested a lot of people because it was a non-conference game and was not going to impact their playoff hopes one way or the other as far as, win or loss is concerned. So I think it's an opportunity, the December 1st game against Washington, as sort of a mini bye or an opportunity if somebody's really banged up. That'll be the game that somebody just won't play, whoever it is. That's the way I see it from all the way back here. I'm just looking at it going, because what's the game they can afford to lose at that particular juncture of the season? I know every game is precious. I get that. But, you're looking at the non-conference game at that point. That'd be Washington.
I think that's what jumps at you. You just went where I was going with what jumps out at me.
Yeah.
Is how heavy the AFC South schedule is for the Titans down the stretch.
Down the stretch, yeah.
So the game before Washington is the Texans on the road.
Yes.
Okay. Then after that Washington game is the Jags here.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that is at Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Then at Jacksonville. And then Houston here to end the regular season. So that is
4 out of 5 home games.
5 out of
home
7.
game,
5 out of 7. 5 out of their final 7 games.
Yeah.
Are division
games.
Yeah, division games.
Which is huge. They get Jacksonville twice within the same month.
Yeah.
December the 8th and then on the road December 29th.
And the Texans are, twice in a month.
Yeah. Well, not exactly a month, no, but
close.
Close.
I mean,
within 6 weeks or so.
November 24th to the end of December.
Yeah. Well, it'll be January 1st of that, or January. It'll be into January at that point. But what I see here, and this is what I expect from them as far as the division is concerned, I see a split with the Colts. I see a split with Indianapolis. I see a split with Houston, and I see a sweep of Jacksonville. I think the Titans are going to finish up the year around 9-8 is what I'm thinking when I look at the schedule. That's what I think. And again, listen, I don't know. Everybody's open to their, is can have their own opinion, but we don't know what this football team's going to look like. I don't know. I'm just talking about if they win the games I think they're supposed to win, and if the division falls the way it's supposed to fall, I guess, I think they can go 4-2 within the division. I don't think that's, all that far-fetched. If the team's going to look different, and that's what's so difficult, is I don't know. I don't know what the Titans are right now. That's hard. It's hard to predict. It's hard to see. So we'll see, though. I know they're not doing all this for nothing. I would be supremely disappointed, and I'll say this. The team was, 5-11 last year? Was that the final record? 6-5.
Was
it 6-12 or whatever? 6-11.
Because they won the last game.
They were 6-11. Yeah. Okay. I would be disappointed myself if they did everything they did this offseason just to end up back at 6-11. That to me is rough. This team has expectations to win now. Why would you do all this? Why you go out and sign Calvin Ridley and do all the things you're doing? Because you're building for next season? The future seasons? I don't think so. You want to win right away. If Will Levis is the player that he's supposed to be, and that's the other thing we don't know. We don't know what Will Levis really is. We've seen him flash, but we don't know. But if Will Levis is the player he's supposed to be, this football team can win 9 games this year. If they won 6 games last year with what we saw with that offensive line, then, they can winning an additional 3 games with the repaired offensive line, to me, is not all that far of a reach, to me. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go 12-5. I'm saying 9-8, is a decent record, and they've had more money to spend than anybody else in their division, almost more than anybody else in football. They should be better. They should be.
I think they're going to shock the world. I think they're going to win 10 games, maybe 11.
Maybe 12.
No, I don't think they get 12.
No, just 11.
Just 11.
Okay.
I'm stopping at 11.
Yeah. But I also understand anybody who's pessimistic about it. I get it.
I'll tell you why I'm pessimistic, because I think their schedule's hard. I'm looking for those. So before the last couple of years, we've been talking about the division, how weak the division is.
Yeah.
The division is no longer weak.
No.
The division is now strong.
Yeah. Well,
so
we think it is.
Well, today, if we're talking about today, nobody's going to say AFC South, oh, that's a garbage division. No, that's not a garbage division at all. The anticipation is that it's going to be a really, really tough division today. They got the Lions. The Lions were in the NFC Championship game last year. They have the Bills. They have the Dolphins on Monday Night Football down in Miami. Remember the place that they went down there last year and beat? They have the Chargers out in L.A. When's the last time they beat the Chargers on the road?
It's been a little while.
Like when...
And see, I've got them losing all those games and still winning 9 games.
Stan Humphries was the quarterback?
Possibly. Stan Humphries, wow. Eric Bieniemy.
Their luck out there, out on the West Coast, and I get it, it was San Diego.
Yeah.
But their luck going out there and beating the Chargers has been abysmal.
No, it's not been good.
It's been awful.
Not been good.
I don't know what Washington's typically bad. What are the Jets now if Aaron Rodgers, second week of the season?
I don't know what the Jets are.
Green Bay, Tony was poo-pooing Green Bay. Green Bay went to the playoffs.
I'm not poo-pooing them. I'm just not overly impressed with Green Bay yet. I don't know what
they went to the playoffs and won. They beat the snot out of Dallas.
Well, the Giants went to the playoffs the year before that and won a playoff game and fell off the map. It happens every year, Darren. Every year somebody goes to the playoffs and then the next year it's like who was that?
I understand, but they're one of the youngest teams in the league, so you wouldn't think, right? You would usually go, hey, they're getting old, they're aging.
Yeah,
they're going to get another year, which means less talented. Not them. They're good, and they're young. So we'll see. All right, we're going to come back. Big John McCarthy. We're going to talk to him next. I'm excited about this. We're going to do that next as you listen to the McFarland Show right here on WNSR.
Hey, if you're looking for a place to catch all the hockey and hoops action this spring, look no further than the Alley Pub in Bellevue. And now here's Samantha to tell you about one of their great weekly specials.
Attention service industry. We want to say cheers to you at the Alley Pub, located at 7040 Highway 70 South in Bellevue. Every Wednesday night, bring a copy of your ABC card or pay stub to receive 20% off of your tab. Only at the Alley Pub, Bellevue's best sports bar and grill.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
The Omaha Steaks semi-annual sale is here. Get 50% off site-wide and save on mouth-watering favorites today. Go to omahasteaks.com and shop the semi-annual sale, where you can load up on all the delicious flavor you crave at half the price. And when you use promo code SIZZLE at checkout, you'll get an extra $30 off your order. Save big on delicious, tender, juicy steaks, big, beefy burgers, and so much more. With Omaha Steaks, the possibilities are endless. Endless flavor and endless value. Every purchase is backed by their unconditional money-back guarantee. Simply go to omahasteaks.com and shop the semi-annual sale today. And don't forget to use promo code SIZZLE at checkout to get an extra $30 off your order. Hurry, because this deal won't last long. Kickstart your spring grilling today. That's omahasteaks.com. Promo code SIZZLE at checkout. Minimum purchase may apply.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
PJ's Painting Service is on the air reminding all motorists to slow down on our roads, keep an eye out for kids at play and in our school zones, and to never text and drive. It can wait. This message courtesy of PJ's Painting Service, serving the area with quality and pride for the last 5 years. For commercial and residential painting, pressure washing, and drywall installs, call PJ's Painting Service today at 256-663-0781, 256-663-0781.
It's JB and the General.
You know, I'll do my Stugatz weekend observations. Stugatz from the Dan Le Batard show. Patton, beep. One thing is sure. Beep. Actually, beep. Two things are sure. Beep. Tennessee is going to the Final Four. Beep. And the Nashville Predators, beep, are winning the Stanley Cup.
Oh.
Beep. Those are my two observations. How about that?
Weekdays 9 to 11, live on WNSR.
The McFarland Show. Video streaming live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube from the Strike and Spare studio.
And Twitch, we're live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. We are the McFarlands. Darren and Justin with you here on this Thursday afternoon. Bringing in Nashville's own Big John McCarthy. At least that's what I'm being told. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but I was told Big John lives in Nashville. Like, who doesn't live in Nashville?
Everybody.
Apparently Big John McCarthy does. John, how we doing?
I'm doing good, but I don't live in Nashville.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Oh, my gosh.
Not
it's
yet.
all good, though. It's all good.
Not yet. Have you visited yet? Because once you visit, you know.
Oh, I know he's been here.
Oh, I have absolutely been there, and I love Nashville. I live in a small little farm town in between Knoxville and Chattanooga. So I live in Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
Just a little bit east of you.
Okay. Oh, so you're in East Tennessee. So you're on the Eastern time zone right now. Okay.
Yes, sir, I am.
I'm going to brag on John, Justin, because back in the day here in this market, back in the day, I used to dedicate an hour to MMA. In fact, Dana White used to tell me he thought that I was the first person on terrestrial radio to dedicate an hour to MMA. This is, John, probably 20 years ago. In this market. And at first, people were like, what in the world are you doing? And then after a while, you know, whenever it became really cool, everybody was like, oh, my gosh, you know, what a great idea you had. But anyway, so I used to go to all these events and cover them, and we talked about it a lot here. And as I've gotten older, I'm not involved in it like I used to be. But I remember going to anytime it was anywhere close, even though I went out to Vegas and other places, but anytime it was close to Nashville, I was there. I remember it was in Columbus, Ohio, and one of the UFC events, and I was in the airport waiting for our flight, and John comes through my terminal right where I'm at, close by, and Justin, this is a referee. Now, you tell me what other sport has people mobbing refs. John, there was somebody around him for like 45 minutes coming up to him, wanted to take a picture, wanted to get his autograph, wanted to talk to him. This is a ref. You tell me any other sport where that happens. It happened to this guy.
Wow.
Very, very popular guy. And I'm sure you had those stories were endless for you.
Oh, you know what? It's great that the fans of MMA are as passionate as they are. And, you know, I agree with you. It's silly that they like a referee. But, you know, they are passionate about every little bit. You know, let's just be honest about that. If you're going to look at who is the most popular person in the world of mixed martial arts, it's not a fighter. It's Dana White.
Yeah. It's crazy.
You just got to be honest about it.
Yeah.
And so it's a weird dichotomy that's happened with this sport. But the one thing, and this is what really made a lot of that happen, was in the beginning, you know, the fighters, you know, went through a lot, and people, you know, didn't like them. They thought they were thugs and things like that, you know, crazy stuff. But they were always good to the people. They were always good to the fans. They always spent time. They participated in allowing people to get to know them. And that helped make the sport. And Dana did the same, and I tried to do the same because it was important that people liked the people that were involved in the sport of MMA. And so now, you know, I think, you know, you don't have fighters going out of their way like they used to completely, not all of them, but there's still a lot to do.
So tell everybody what you're doing now. I know you're doing things in the podcast world, and you're not in the ring anymore, but you're close by. Talk about that transition for you and how you came about to that decision.
You know, I transitioned back in 2018 was the last time I refereed. But it was a matter of, you know, I didn't want to be that person that was slowing down and people saying, oh, he's making mistakes. Oh, you know, I wanted to go out on my terms. And I was offered an opportunity to, you know, commentate for Bellator MMA. And Scott Coker gave me that opportunity, and I looked at it and said, you know what? It's probably the time. And I could have still done the referee, and I love the referee. Absolutely just loved every bit of it. The only thing I didn't love was the travel.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, you know, I was doing somewhere in the area of about 120 shows, not fights, a year.
Wow.
And, you know, a lot of those were going into Russia and different places and stuff. So there was a lot. I think that my last year refereeing, I was like right at 400,000 air miles for the year. So it took a toll. It took a toll. And so the commentating was going to allow me not to travel near as much. And it was just, you know, it was the time to do it. And I was with Bellator until Bellator finally basically merged with the PFL. PFL took it over. And so now I'm with the PFL and Bellator. I get to do them both. I have a show tomorrow in Paris, France. And I get to do all the PFL Globals, all the PFL Europe shows. So I have a great time just sitting there talking about MMA, being able to, you know, give people the right idea of how to score the fights, give them the right idea if something happens as a foul. I'm the, I guess, supposed expert that is there to tell you exactly what should happen and why.
Well, we're all three Tennesseans, right? And one of the fighters is Jaleel Willis, who's going to be on that card. I guess he's from West Tennessee, right? He's from the Memphis area. So tell us about him. And he has become quite a rising star.
You know, Jaleel Willis, I've known for a long time. He came up through where I really started to see him was a promotion called the LFA. And he, fighting out of Memphis, a kid that could wrestle, but he really started getting involved with his boxing and kickboxing. And when he came to Bellator, you know, he showed how athletic he was. Now, one of the things that he's done that I really applaud him for is it's tough to leave the area that you're used to. And he was training out of a small gym in Memphis. And when you're the big fish in a small pond, you don't get to see everything that you need to see. You don't get to experience, you know, people that are better than you in areas. You're always that guy that's kind of better And so he left that, and he's training now. At least he goes down to Deerfield, Florida, and he trains at Kill Cliff FC with a bunch of just killers. Out of that gym, it's just loaded with superstars, and he has absolutely improved from that point. He's taken on a guy in Cedric Doumbé, who is a phenomenal kickboxer and who has really come out in MMA. He's 5-1. He had a weird loss in his last fight because he got something stuck in his toe, but it happened during the fight, and he tried to tell the referee, hey, I got something wrong here, and the referee said, hey, you're going to have to fight on, and then kind of went back to, hey, I got something wrong. He said, okay, the fight's over. And he lost due to basically, a splinter in his foot.
I don't think I've ever heard that before. I don't think I've ever heard a story like that.
And and it happens. These things happen. Where he got it, I can't say, but he's looking to really come back and prove himself. He still feels like he's undefeated. Jalil is that guy who has the ability, if he fights smart in this fight. He's good on the feet. He can stay with him for a while, but he needs to utilize that wrestling. But Jalil Willis really can be someone in this sport. He just needs to keep that dedication of training hard and learning.
So are you calling this? Are you in Paris? Or are you calling from here? Or I don't want to.
I get to call this. I'm kind of like Mike Pereira with the NFL. He's in New York for all the games, and I get to call it from here in East Tennessee. So it's great. I love the fact that I don't have to get on a plane.
Oh, well, let me just tell you. The reason I brought that up is because Justin here on the show, the other McFarland, went to Paris with his wife. Yes. Back when was that?
October.
In October.
Yeah.
And he thought he was going to continue doing the shows via Zoom over there in Paris. Yeah. But it was like 11 o'clock at night, Big John. And during one of the shows on live radio, somebody was banging on the walls going, hey, shut up. We don't care about the Titans. Try to sleep.
He's having a strong rant about Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they did not appreciate my thoughts on the Pittsburgh Steelers at that particular moment when it was 11:30 at night there in Paris. So,
man, I'll tell you, and I've been there. It's Paris is a beautiful city.
It is,
but time changes can be a real.
So that was a memorable show moment. That was his last show.
John,
until he got back.
John, I've got a question here. When I examine your league, what is the difference between, I see the PFL Pro, then I see the PFL Europe, and there you guys have got men's and women's and featherweight, and then there seems to be every division imaginable here. How would you describe the structure of the PFL?
The structure of the PFL, what it's truly based on, and they have what they look at as a season. The season the same as the Titans in the NFL, or the Grizzlies with basketball. They want people to have to go through a series of fights. You're going to have to fight for the season 4 times to win $1 million with the PFL. You will be the PFL champion at that point, and then you relinquish that to go into it the next time. Now, what they've done is, by acquiring Bellator, they acquired just an incredible pool of talent. So they've moved a lot of the Bellator fighters into that tournament, which has only made it better. The season has got some just incredible fighters in it that are basically coming up on their second fights right now. It's the start of that coming up. So the PFL is based upon having a season and people having to go through the season and the fans being able to see that same fighter fight at least 4 times in the year to win the PFL championship.
4 times within the year, as in not the calendar year, but within the season, which is how long typically?
It is the calendar year when you're looking at it.
Okay.
Because basically they're going to start the season starts in March and it will end at the beginning of December.
Okay. So my other question is, and by the way, compliments to your social media team. Tell them that somebody who's unfamiliar with you and your sport, look them up on YouTube, and the clips have been nothing short of phenomenal. So give them a pat on the back. It looks really, really nice, really sharp, easy to find, and the stuff has been really, really intense to watch. I've seen, compared to other leagues, I've and I'm not as deep into this as Darren is, but I've seen a lot of submission holds in you guys' league, more than just pure knockouts. A lot of sleeper holds and and arm bars and things like that. Is that a style of your league, or is that just something I just happen to see?
No, that's just, that's part of the sport of MMA. And when, what you're really seeing is just the evolution of the sport. And when I say that is, most when I started in, and everybody in the beginning, you had one style, and then you tried to all of a sudden incorporate another style. So you were either a stand-up guy or you were a grappler. Mm-hmm. And so then if you were the grappler, you're a wrestler, you're trying to learn the stand-up so you don't get your head knocked off while you're trying to get the fight to the ground. But now it's everybody, I had a gym when I was living in California for 12 years, and I had kids there that started at 5, and by the time that, I was moving to Tennessee, they were 17 years old, and they had been doing wrestling, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, judo for their entire lives, and they were so good at everything. And that's what you're seeing now, is you're seeing people that they're not limited to one thing. They can fight everywhere. They all have something that they're probably a little bit better in. I'm a little bit better at my grappling than I am at my striking, but they're so good and so capable of pulling off the submissions at any moment. That's why you're seeing it that way.
That's fascinating. Okay, so it's no longer just looking for the pure knockout punch, I guess, is the way a lot of people are looking at it, or the TKO, or trying to get the ref to stop it. The grappling and all that has become like a huge part of the sport now as it continues to evolve. Does it matter when it moves overseas, when you bring in other countries? I imagine every country brings in their own flavor, or every time you introduce a new person, they introduce something new to the sport, I would imagine.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. When you talk about flavors, we're going to Paris. And Paris, France as a country is very good with their stand-up kickboxing. They call it savate. And they got some exciting fighters that fight beautifully in the stand-up. But they've all been wrestling now, and they've all been doing their jiu-jitsu and stuff. And so they're good. There's a kid on this card, Yves Landu, who is, he's not a kid. I can't say that. He's a grown man, but he is so athletic. He's so fun to watch. He pulls off backflips in the middle of the cage. If he wins, he does, he does break dancing in the middle and stuff. He is just incredible to watch as far as an athlete. He can pull those things off. But the guy who's in the main event is Magomed Magomedov. He's from Dagestan, and most of the people there, if they think of someone from Dagestan, they think of a grappler. But he's great in the grappling, but he doesn't want to be in a grappling match against the guy he's going against. He wants to keep it on his feet. He's got a ton of beautiful spinning attacks. He's great there, so he wants to keep it on the feet. So you never know. Everything is about working toward your advantages and your opponent's disadvantages. That's what makes a smart fighter, and that's what gets you wins.
So, John, I want to zoom out here for just a second and look at the overall landscape of MMA and other sports here that you guys may or may not be competing with, and that includes the WWE even, or good old-fashioned boxing, which, I know a lot of people don't even really think about as much anymore. We talk to Sean Merriman from time to time here on the program. He's got his own operation out there that he does.
Lights out.
Lights out.
There you go.
There you go. And, the market seems to be, I don't want to say flooded because that's not the term I'm looking for, but there seems to be a lot of options, shall we say, out there for fans looking for this style of sport. How do the particular leagues like PFL or wherever, or your Sean Merriman and Lights Out, continue to evolve and try to stick out over the competitors, because it's not just one anymore? You can get online and see a lot of different things now and a lot of different fighters from across the world. Is it getting harder to stand out?
It is getting harder to stand out, and there's no doubt about, when you take a look at the sport of MMA, there's all what we call grassroots, there's regional shows, and then there's the international shows, and you only got a couple of those. You've got the UFC, you've got the PFL and Bellator. ONE FC is another one, and that's it. Those are your four that you're looking at. And so the regional shows are the ones that are super important to the sport, because they're the ones that the fighters, when they're young, they get to, learn their craft, and they get to come up and you learn how to fight in front of a crowd, how to fight under the lights. It's not easy. There's pressures there that people, everyone thinks, fighters aren't scared of anything. They're definitely scared of looking bad in front of people, and that can happen. So these are the things that you need those grassroots, those regional shows for, and then you take a look at what is being produced in the bigger shows and how good these fighters are. They're incredible as far as what they can pull off. People really have no concept of how truly good and how special some of these people are.
I used to talk to Brandon Vera all the time, and he used to tell me that he threw up before every match.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I can tell you stories of people that absolutely, and if they didn't, they didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Or something. But there's, Cowboy Cerrone is one of the guys that I used to love. Just watching fight because and it was the thing. Hey, anywhere, anytime, anybody, that whole thing. But the first time I ever refereed, you go in the back and you're going to talk and go over things with him and make sure that he's comfortable with how you're going to be calling stuff. And I knew I'd watched Cowboy fight too many times. Knew he just loved to fight, and he was walking back and forth. Why am I doing this? God, I can't stand this. Why do I do this to myself? and I'm like, hold it. Is this the guy that And you will get those, but as soon as he hits those lights, he turns it on. While other people fold and just it's the pressure just crushes them. They implode, and it's just a difference in mentality and the ability to deal with that pressure.
Yeah, that's sports. Okay, so let's wrap it up with how this ties into Nashville and our market. So you talked about the schedule, and somebody's going to get rewarded $1 million at the end. But I guess Nashville is in the rotation on August the 2nd for that schedule. Is that
Sure.
Is that we're in the rotation? Is that fair to say?
Yes, there will be one of the season shows is in Nashville. It is in the beginning of August there, and I cannot tell you exactly who's going to be on it and as far as in, because we have another series of fights coming up here in June that's going to dictate exactly who will be on the Nashville card and who will be the main event and all those things. But yeah, there's going to be a phenomenal show coming to Nashville that I cannot wait for.
August 2nd, Municipal Auditorium. We'll certainly talk about this more as we get closer. We'd love to visit with you again. John, thanks so much for doing this. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you, sir.
Really appreciate it.
My pleasure, guys. I appreciate you having me on, and thanks for watching the fights.
All right, that is Big John McCarthy, and very, very famous UFC ref, now on the broadcasting side for PFL and Bellator, as you just heard him talk about, and podcasting world, and a guy that just MMA fans absolutely love and adore.
He's a good ambassador for the sport.
Absolutely.
I learned a lot there. That was good.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I used to see him all the time in airports or outside the ring. And this is a referee, and people would the fans would lose their minds. He was just so popular.
Yeah.
Amazing. You just don't see that in sports. All right, we'll come back wide open the rest of the way if you want to get involved. 615-844-5600. Yet again, another thing coming to Nashville, which is a good thing, right?
Yes.
You're listening to the McFarland Show on WNSR.
When was the last time you did something fun with family, friends, coworkers, and clients? What if I told you about a place under one roof that offers affordable entertainment for all ages? That's what you'll find at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers in Donaldson, Hermitage, Tusculum, Hendersonville, and Murfreesboro, with bowling, games, food, drink, and entertainment for all ages. Enjoy an enhanced experience in Hendersonville or Murfreesboro, where they feature additional fun with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. All locations are open 7 days a week, including holidays. Visit online at strikeandspare.com. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
A friend of mine just bought a new house for the first time. A new house. I mean, my wife and I'd love to own a house. So I asked him how he did it. And he smiled and he said he went to the knowledge tree. He had this happy look on his face. So I told him to tell me more. And he said, John, the lack of knowledge will keep you poor. Then he handed me a brochure. It was from Knowledge Tree Mortgage. Now I understood. And after one phone call, I understood even more. Knowledge Tree Mortgage specializes in first-time home buyers. Folks like me who get the runaround from banks, and he got us pre-qualified. Knowledge Tree Mortgage got us our mortgage. And tomorrow, my wife and I are going to become first-time home buyers. Here's the number, 859-9599. 859-9599. Money doesn't grow on trees. Knowledge does. Knowledge Tree Mortgage, 859-9599. 859-9599.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-617-0239. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-617-0239. That's 800-617-0239. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, Tennessee, Jeff Fisher here. Ready for edge-of-your-seat football action? The Nashville Cats are bringing it to you live.
I'm Eli Gold, and we promise you an electrifying experience with every play. Arena football is back. It's furious and full of fun. Join us for the greatest show on turf. Secure your tickets today at thenashvillecats.com and get ready to cheer for your Nashville Cats.
The 2024 Atlanta Braves are on a mission to bring home a 7th straight NL East title and head back to the Fall Classic.
Harris to the warning track. Harris will leap, and he got it! He caught the ball! You have got to be kidding me! Swung on, belted, deep right field, gone!
Listen to the NL East defending champs, the Atlanta Braves, only on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Give us a call, 615-844-5600. The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Good stuff. Having fun today here on the McFarland Show. Hope you're having a good day. 615-844-5600. That got my juices flowing again. Been a while. Yeah. I was hot and heavy in the MMA world for about a decade in this town. I was the only one that had a MMA hour, and it was very, very popular. But I've been out of the loop for a good while. But, yeah.
Sports changed a little bit. It's evolving.
It has. It has. So appreciate John McCarthy, Big John McCarthy, for joining us here on the program. 615-844-5600. We're live in the Strikers Bear Family Fun Center studio. Let's go down to Columbia, Tennessee. Nate, what's up?
What's up, guys?
Hey, Nate.
Listening to the interview, the only other official for any other sport that I could think that even comes light years away from him is Wes McCauley in the NHL.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It seems like everybody loves him because of the way that he makes his calls and everything.
Yeah. But I guess that's really interesting you bring him up, because you're right. Everybody loves his style on the ice, but I'll just full disclosure, Nate, I don't, is he mobbed, off the ice? Do people know who he is? Do they like, oh my gosh, that's Wes McCauley. Like, that's what they did. That's what they do with John McCarthy. Like, when people, the MMA fans are like, oh my gosh, that's Big John McCarthy. And they go, can I get, and they run up and get a picture. Like, I don't know. And maybe the answer is 100% yes. That's a really good example, but I don't know how Wes McCauley's treated off the ice.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so, but I mean, that's the other official that I thought of when y'all were talking about that.
Yeah, he's the ref that's very animated with his calls.
Okay.
Very animated.
Very animated.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's like his deal.
And he uses his inflections really well.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. But guys, I'm gonna put on a full plexiglass hockey case to go mow the grass so I don't get killed by these cicadas.
We were literally just talking about that during the break. It's like you were in here with us. We were like, they're just Damon goes, are they blind? And then I said, they just seem like they just fly around or move around aimlessly. They don't know what's going on around them. They just beat and bang into everything.
Nate, I agree with you. I need to cut my grass right now, and I don't want to because of the doggone cicadas.
Justin said he got pegged in the head.
Square
with one
in
today.
the forehead.
In the forehead.
Oh, jeez. thankfully, I don't have many trees around my house. But I will say the other day when I went to go get some coffee, I had my window down, and it flew right into my car and landed in the back seat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's why there's a lot of times I jump out of the car, especially at the house. And if I'm going to get the mail, just doing something, I'll leave the door open, right, while I'm doing something before I get back in. And I don't do it now because if I leave it open, I'm afraid I'm going to get back in. There's going to be 3 cicadas in there.
Absolutely.
Staring at me.
And the hotter it gets, the more they get louder, too.
Yeah.
I don't think they need trees, Nate. I think
the tall grass, they'll be there too. But they're everywhere, and they're going to be everywhere for the next month or so. I mean, they'll go away soon enough. But
thanks for that encouraging word.
Hey, listen, just trying to be real with the people.
Maybe I can reduce some of the population while I'm cutting.
Oh, you will, but it won't. It won't really have an effect.
They won't care.
You will do that, but we won't notice.
It's like they regenerate.
Yeah, well,
feels that way.
Yeah.
Y'all have a great day, guys.
All right, you
Thanks,
too.
Nate.
It's like a bad movie. When you go like TV, you see the locusts attacking. They're like on the ground in a swarm. Like,
well, I don't know if you guys have picked up on this, but if you watch videos people are posting or like reels, that are current, like right now, and it's outdoors, you can hear the.
Oh yeah.
Like it is loud.
Oh yeah.
Very loud.
No, they're very loud. They're loud enough that you can't even hear yourself think. I mean, if it's loud enough, like if you're thinking about something and you're going into your house and you're just like, what is that noise? It is disturbing.
Yeah.
How loud they can be. But again, we just got to go through it. They just go do what you got to do so we can get it out of here. Get it out of here. Sooner the better.
That's how you really feel. Okay.
That's how I really feel. I'm tired of them already. They just
the good news for Nissan Stadium is they didn't have to worry about cicadas plopping up out of the ground.
No cicadas plopping. What is the material made out of? The grass is made out of something. The coconut.
Coconut.
The coconut silk or whatever it is.
Yeah.
No, there are no cicadas in that. No, not this year.
The old surface. Yeah.
Yeah, the old surface. You never know what you were going to find in there. Sometimes cicadas. Sometimes whole careers were there.
Wow.
Inside of some of those.
Can you imagine being at a concert and cicadas are flying around in the stadium? Like,
well, they don't seem to be attracted to light like moths or other type of thing. No, it's not like that. They're just they're not attracted to anything except for each other.
They don't have any purpose.
The noise that you're hearing is their mating call. That's what they're doing. So they're only attracted to each other. That's it. They're not attracted to the light. They're not attracted.
Why do they have to be so loud to be mating?
Listen, I'm not gonna talk about that. These are public airwaves, and we all have jobs and bills to pay. So I'm not gonna get into any of that right now. You can talk about that. I'm gonna leave the room.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take our final break, come back, and put a bow on Thursday's edition of the McFarland Show on WNSR.
Precision Pipe Coating is on the air, reminding all motorists to slow down in residential areas and in school zones. Never text and drive, and always designate a driver when celebrating. This message is courtesy of Precision Pipe Coating, serving Greater Lebanon and Middle Tennessee with quality and pride. For residential and commercial pipe repair experts with over a decade of experience, call Precision Pipe Coating today at 615-582-7962. 615-582-7962. That's Precision Pipe Coating, the professionals who care.
Dog parents are loving Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend Premium Dog Food.
The way she acts and the way she moves, it's just so much better. And she's like a puppy again. It's unbelievable.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend is a freeze-dried raw food made with 0 artificial preservatives, so it's naturally shelf-stable with no mess, freezer, or fridge required. Plus, it's full of premium turkey, beef, salmon, and meat your dog will love.
We started with Nature's Blend. She's happy, she sleeps well, she's energetic. I am just delighted with this product.
When given the choice, Nature's Blend and Amazon's #1 bestseller in dry dog food, 29 out of 30 dogs chose Nature's Blend first.
I am so confident your dog will love it. Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of delicious beef liver treats. Go to drmartypets.com/healthy or text healthy to 511-511. Text healthy to 511-511. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
Paid for by Dr. Marty's Pets.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Celebrate Memorial Day weekend at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Don't miss incredible deals like 50% bonus trade-in on all new clubs. Buy any 2 apparel items and receive a 3rd free. And save big on shoes, bags, carts, and travel covers. The more you buy, the more you save. Shop with us this Memorial Day weekend, in-store or online. Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get there.
Warrior fan, can't believe I'm about to say it. You just got beamed. Devastating evening for the Dubs. Devastating, in fact, for anybody who was pulled for this Warriors dynasty. It truly did feel like the end of an era. And if not the end of an era, maybe the end of Klay Thompson's era at Golden State. What a terrible way to go. You got to feel for him. Disastrous night for a class guy and a rough night for a class organization.
Jim Rome is here weekdays 11 to 2 on Nashville Sports Radio, WNSR.
Give us a call, 615-844-5600. The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
PGA Championship Round 1, Valhalla Golf Club in Louisville, Kentucky. Brooks Koepka won PGA Championship last year. Xander Schauffele is shot a 62 today, 9 under, currently atop the leaderboard. All these players are done for the day. Rory McIlroy shoots a 66, 5 under. Brooks Koepka, last year's champ, 4 under, 67. Let's see. Victor Hovland, 3 under, 68. Bryson DeChambeau, 3 under as well. Scotty Scheffler, 3 under. And actually, he's not done. He's not done. Everybody I've read so far, Jordan Spieth, 2 under is done. But, yeah, so that's where we stand. A lot of guys, obviously, still on the course. I'm trying to see if I see a projected cut line, but I doubt today they'll have it. There'll be more tomorrow. So, there you go.
The NFL schedule is out, Darren. You mentioned that. We've been talking a lot about the Titans. The Titans' first game of the season against the Bears. One thing I noticed about the Bears' schedule, and they were talking about this in some of the Chicago sports media. Do you know when their first division game is for the Bears? Did you hear about this? The Bears' first division game. November 17th.
Wow.
They'll play the Packers. That'll be their first division game. They'll play all 6 division games between November 17th and Sunday, January 5th.
Well, it looks like they've done that. Didn't the Steelers get the same deal? They got this all division
I've heard about
games.
This. Yes.
But I just told you 5 out of the last 7 for the Titans are AFC South games.
Yeah, they're messing around clearly with they want these division games to be later in the year. Clearly. This is very intentional by the NFL.
So I think that's right. I think that's what they're doing. They're trying to maybe create urgency and storylines with your rivals.
There's plenty of drama already. You didn't have to go to this extent, I think, where you're moving all the division games, not in October, not even early November, mid-November, November 17th before division game 1.
Now, the Titans have Indianapolis here on October 13th, so that is their first AFC South game. Their next AFC South game is November 24th.
That's
in Houston.
That's bananas.
That's Thanksgiving.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. We've been doing this a long time. We know that's weird. That's not normal. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm stopping to think about this. More tomorrow.
I thought they could go 17-0, but after looking at it, I don't think they're going to go 17-0.
I don't think so either.
We'll continue the discussion tomorrow, starting at 2 o'clock. We'll wrap up the week. Bill Keane will get things started tomorrow at 6 a.m. John Burton and Patton Cook from 9 to 11. Us at 2 o'clock. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you then.